We're just defrosting here. Happy New Year, everybody, first and foremost.
Yep, Ryan Duffy here from Precision Microbes. Tommy
Heffernan here as well. And a cold January day here. We're starting back. First Tech in 10 of the series. We'll cover a technical topic in under 10 minutes, Ryan.
Yeah, we're going to be very calf focused now for the next number of weeks because we're coming into spring calving. So we're going to talk about something that is very, very deep and true to our hearts, which is colostrum. We talk about it all of the time.
We can go, Matthias, so let's go. So, foundational to calf health, I've said it in other videos, people are bored about, people talk about it, even vets talk about colostrum, but it is foundational to calf health. Let's run through our thoughts on this Tech in 10 on colostrum. Start off, Ryan, what is colostrum?
Yeah, well, it's the first milk coming from a cow, so it's yellow in colour, it's rich in energy, it's rich in a variety of nutrients, so that's why it's the foundation for calf health.
And the calf is immunonaive, meaning they have very little immunity. They have innate immunity. So to talk to people I think get a little bit confused about innate immunity versus passive transfer and adaptive immunity.
Yeah, so essentially calves don't really have any functional immune system in their bloodstream. And that's really, really important. Now, they have a variety of cells, and we will talk a wee bit about cells. So they do have cells which can fight off some degree of an infection. But with the amount of infection pressure there is, particularly in like a spring calving system, they don't have any antibodies, and that's really, really important to keep the likes of bacteria and viruses out of the body. And if they do get into the body, be able to fight them off. So they do have certain cellular immunity, but they don't have any antibodies, and that is one of the most important things whenever we talk about calf health.
And when we're getting that, so you're looking for that passive transfer. So targets then, kind of maybe a technical place to start. What are we trying to achieve from us? Maybe a scientific point of view. The standard seems to be getting higher. How many grams per litre, or what measurement is the target? You know, if we're looking at colostrum from a scientific point of view.
Yeah, well, we have the 5 or 6 Qs up here, but to stay over there beside you to start off, we want good quality colostrum that's rich in antibodies, and we want to give that to a calf in a timely manner so that it absorbs it across its gut, and that antibody ends up in the bloodstream. So the calf is protected if something tries to get into the bloodstream. So to do that, you need to have a certain quantity and quality of your colostrum. So you're talking there, I can see you're in around blood levels and stuff like that, and you're looking for around 10 grams per litre in the first 24 hours, whereas, you know, we're probably nearly doubling that to 25 grams per litre now, really.
Is where the target is.
Yeah.
So we start with quality. It can be measured with a Brix refractometer on farm. I'm telling people, some people are saying 22 to 24. I'm saying 24 plus in a seasonal system with optimized nutrition in cows as a target. Yep. I could be wrong. What are your thoughts?
No, definitely. The higher the better. But again, we have to respect the system that we have here. It's not necessarily all year round calving. There is all year round calving systems here, but it's predominantly spring calving. We have a lot of infection pressure in a very short space of time. So if we can get up to the higher end of what you're talking about, 24% through optimized maternal nutrition, I'm all for it.
And that comes down to that comes down to energy and protein in the diet pre-calving. I've had this debate with someone recently. I talk about, you know, colostrum in brood, particularly in the last 10 days, optimizing nutrition. But when are these antibodies been made in the udder?
Yeah, the last 3 or 4 weeks of before the cow calves. So we can probably maximize it there for the last 4 weeks when we're giving a cow, say, dry cow minerals for milk fever or something like that. Yeah. We could have a wee bit of a change in diet around there.
So energy and protein going in.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. So that can determine quality. We can measure on farm. Again, if we're getting poor quality, quantity going in, you know, keep it simple, 3 to 4 litres. People talk about 8 to 10% of body weight because of the size of animals differing. Sorry, that's the quantity. So one thing, you know, tube versus bottle. I would be a fan of bottling, and I think I was quoting it wrong that research shows there's no difference, but actually recent research shows that you get better absorption of antibodies with bottling and suckling over tubing.
Look, bring it back down to nature. Nature wins. Animals have evolved for a particular purpose, and they're designed to suckle. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's some information that would contradict previous information in that regard. If it's possible to bottle. Practically, in a lot of farms, you do need to tube them if we're trying to get good quality 3 to 4 litres in a timely manner, and that might be the only option for certain farms. But bottling, yeah, it's natural.
Quickly, we need to get it in because of antibodies. The gut's open. and those antibodies need to be absorbed.
Yeah, so within the first 12 to 14 hours, if a calf does not get any colostrum, the absorptive capacity of the gut goes down by 33%. It's remarkable how quickly it closes, and by 24 hours, that's all over. As for if we don't milk a cow, every hour that a cow is not milked after calving, the quality of that colostrum is going down by 3 to 4% as well.
By every hour?
By every hour, because she's just producing more milk, so it's being watered down, it's being diluted.
Good
so
point.
You're looking at it from both perspectives. The calf's gut's not going to be able to absorb, but also the quality that the cow is going to give a calf is also going down. So that's why we need quickly.
And cleanly, colostrum's got twice the fat and protein than normal milk. It leaves a slimy layer in particularly dump buckets and buckets where it's stored, and can lead to a lot of coliforms, bacterial spoilage. The gut is quite open, and what we don't want going in is these coliforms, these harmful pathogens. They can cross into the gut and cause quite a bit of disruption.
Yeah, and like whenever we talk about bloody scars and stuff like that, that's exactly a real sign of the likes of coliforms getting in, those bad bugs. So we need to make sure that colostrum is maintained clean. And look, being realistic, Tommy, there's going to be bugs in colostrum. You're never going to have a completely sterile colostrum whenever you're using buckets and you're harvesting and everything else. So we need to minimize the number, but we also need to minimize the likelihood that they're going to proliferate.
Okay.
So like whenever we have things in buckets and I say it's warm, and I know we are sitting here and it's quite cold in the office today, but if it's relatively warm, those microbes will be able to proliferate. So we need to make sure we can minimize that. And that's where storage and refrigeration will come into the conversation.
Yeah, I think more and more people are refrigerating colostrum in seasonal systems. An old fridge, storing it at 2 to 8 degrees. And you're getting, 48 to 72 hours probably. We'll say 24 to 72 hours there, you've written up, where you can store colostrum. You still have that valuable resource, even for that second feed. So people talk about the first feed, the second feed, because of these bioactives in it. I don't think we talk enough about, colostrums, the antibodies, but it's also got lactoferrin in it. It's got oligosaccharides, which are prebiotics, which support the gut development. Like it not only from the first 24 hours, all the research is showing that future lifetime performance, epigenetics is being impacted by that first feed of colostrum.
Yeah, epigenetic programming, this lactocrine hypothesis that if nutrition is correct at the very, very beginning of life, the cows will produce more in their future productivity, in their future life and productivity, of course. And this is not in anything else apart from colostrum. There's definitely a lot of scope for bioactive factors.
Okay. When we're storing colostrum, we talked about the fridge, getting it into a freezer, because a lot of people have spare colostrum, large flat bags, large surface area. How long was it going to last in the freezer?
A year.
Okay.
Up to a year. So again, if you're freezing stuff now, you're either going to use it this season or you're going to use it at the beginning of next season.
Okay. When we're thawing it out, simple rule, if you're putting it into hot water, if your hand can't go into the water, don't put in the colostrum, but you don't want to put it in a microwave or damage these immunoglobulins either.
No, you want to thaw it out nice and slowly. You also want to avoid any freeze thaw issues with your freezer as well, particularly if it's during the year and say the freezer gets unplugged or whatever the case may be. You want to avoid that. But definitely, as you said, if you can't put your hand into the water, if you don't want to put your hand into the water, it's probably too warm and it'll denature the proteins. Just like bad bugs will eat your proteins, temperature can degrade your proteins as well.
Pasteurization thoughts, I don't think in a seasonal system is massively applicable. I think invest in a fridge and store it. But what's your thoughts on pasteurization?
Yeah, all of the papers would suggest it's a great job, but practically it's a challenge. It's not the cheapest thing to just install either at the same time. So look, it's been shown to be really, really beneficial. But I think if we're focusing on these here things, we're probably going to make a lot more progress in an Irish system.
Replacer, quality replacers, they're costly, they have a role to play. In seasonal systems, my thoughts are very rarely needs to be used, maybe in heifers at the start, towards the end, but generally you should have enough colostrum. Beware of supplements, this is my opinion. Some of them are just that, they're just proteins. They may have a role, talk to your own vet or advisor on it, but quality replacers kind of have a role to play in maybe all year round calving systems, but in seasonal calving systems, when you have lots of quality colostrum coming, not a huge
supportive tools. That's it might help you in a very short space of time, but you shouldn't be relying on them. Okay,
so overview of colostrum. Again, I suppose we're coming into the season, no surprises, we're going to be talking about precision microbes. 30 mils daily. It can be fed in colostrum. Okay, we're talking about bad bugs, but we're putting in good bacteria that are staying in the gut, that are supporting gut health. From the first feed, our colostrum doesn't affect passive transfer. Again, supporting gut health, 30 mils for 30 days. Any other final talks on colostrum, Ryan?
No, I'd say it, just focus on those 5 Qs that we've been talking about and focus on your maintaining your gut health with precision microbes, 30 mils per calf per head per day.
Happy New Year. Cold start to the year.